Hello, class is in session. Welcome back. I am going to go over today the history of estimating as I see it, and I want this to be informative for you. I have never seen a video on YouTube about this topic, so let's get right into it. So, we're going to go all the way back to ancient times, so early civilizations. Estimating can be tracked back to ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians and the Greeks, who engaged in large construction projects like the pyramids and temples. So they used rudimentary methods based on experience and the scale of similar past projects to estimate resources and time, how much basically the labor is going to take and how much time is or cost for the materials, like very rudimentary and simple ways of figuring, estimating for building construction projects. So the Middle Ages came along, knights and arrows and all of that stuff. But so trade and guilds during the Middle Ages, estimating became a more formalized. Within guilds, craftsmen and builders developed techniques to estimate materials and labor for various trades. Apprentices learned from masters, which helped create more standardized practices. So, more generally, writing was spread a little bit more further out into the population than it was all the way back in the beginning time. So, in ancient Egypt. So, more books about construction and techniques to complete it were getting spread around. The knowledge was starting to get compounded upon in small, guilds, to where people would share their information in that with one another in there, but maybe not. It's kind of siloed, so it wasn't necessarily that every other trade may know, what they would know today, especially with the internet. And even before the internet, with the prevalence of people being able to read books and generally throughout most of the population and stuff like that, in comparison, of course, to back then when it was a lot less people reading. So now, during the Renaissance period, which is way after the Middle Ages, scientific advancements starting to get into the picture. So there are advancements in mathematics and engineering influencing how projects were estimated, the development of surveying tools. So, the guys that stand out there with the tripod that has the telescope on it and do like a site survey, that was invented during the Renaissance period. And the accuracy of estimates in construction and land development went a lot higher than it had been before. So you have more extensive building projects throughout the world during the Renaissance period than you did in the Middle Ages, or of course in ancient times, like in Egypt. Or Egypt or Greece. So during the Industrial Revolution, which started in the late 1800s in England, I think, with water-powered mills and water-powered facilities, to where basically you could generate the power consistently and then use different, like, it's almost like a transmission, but shift the power to different things in the facility to work. So whether that's like a giant weaving machine that moves using the power of water or whatever else, then you had steam come into the picture. Steam, you had gas to light lamps around the facility so that you could work, more time throughout the day. And of course, all of this started getting transferred over to the United States. And the United States is really who brought the Industrial Revolution, or really probably like the second Industrial Revolution, to its heights of where you could see it to be. But you have a lot of standardization and formalization of different processes. So the Industrial Revolution brought about mass production and complex projects requiring more sophisticated estimating methods, the introduction of time and motion studies allow for the estimation of project cost and productivity. So different scientific principles started getting spread more wide throughout the entire society. So first you had the Renaissance where you had a lot of scientific advancements, and then those scientific advancements spread throughout everyone and started getting implemented by different people around the world. That causes the Industrial Revolution. And we have a lot of science taking place in the Industrial Revolution. The introduction of time and motion studies. Interesting. So during the 20th century, project management emergence, so the early to mid 20th century saw the rise of formal project management methodologies, technologies, or techniques such as critical path methods, CPM, and project evaluation and review techniques, PERT, were developed, allowing for more accurate time and resource estimation. So being able to make it out to the projects because you have vehicles that everybody is using to get from here to there, and being able to create formalized methods behind that to make sure that the projects get done, projects get estimated accurately, all invented during the 20th century and the very early to mid 20th century at that point. So towards the end of the 20th century, let's say, of course, computers were invented. Actually, you guys probably wouldn't really even believe how long computers have been around. So one of the first computers was presented to Hitler back in 1938, 1939, something like that. You have a German computer that may even be before that, in like maybe 1930. Oh, maybe it was 31, between 31 and 39, between that 8 year experience or time frame. You have a computer being presented to Hitler. You have the Allies, Britain. I think the British had their own computer, I think, and then the United States had their ENIAC, I think is what it was called, in like maybe 1944 or 45, which helped read the encrypted information that was being transferred in between the Germans to, plan their attacks and everything else, get that intercepted by the United States, who were using a computer who could hack that code. So that was like the first inception of computing. It started getting more widely introduced into different facilities in the 60s or so. And then as the 70s go on, you start getting home desk computers and Apple and all of that. And then as the 90s hit, that's where most people know about computers and know about the internet, is from like the late 90s. And so, yeah, it wasn't the mid to early part, like project management and how that kind of emerged, but there's the end part. You'd have different softwares. So as industries evolved, particularly in the later half of the century, software began to play a significant role in estimating. Estimating software tools became widely used in construction, engineering, and manufacturing. So yeah. What you really have is you have a lot of older guys that are in the estimating career field, and because they didn't necessarily grow up, like they weren't in their mid 20s using a computer, it's harder of an adaptation curve for them, because they're probably in their mid 20s, like let's say in the 80s or something like that, or early 90s. And so you don't have a massive adoption curve as much as you would think, at least in my estimated experience from what I've seen people using. A lot of people are still dealing with a set of plans and doing takeoffs with these highlighters. And, from my experience, it's definitely not the most accurate, but hey. So now we're in the 21st century, so you have data-driven estimating. So today, estimating is increasingly influenced by data analytics and artificial intelligence. That is for a fact because I definitely use ChatGPT and its offshoots like the O1 preview model consistently in estimating to help me get things done and figured out to where I don't have to have a bunch of different means for finding either pricing, labor, material, different questions that I need to ask, conversions, responses to email, all of it is taken care of, honestly. So historical data, machine learning algorithms, and predictive analytics allow for more accurate and dynamic estimations across various industries. There's also a lot of different programs, software programs that I've used and that I've seen that have AI connected to it. And those are definitely game changing in the way that this industry is going, headed towards being able to use that, being able to interact with AI to get these projects completed. So agile and lean methodologies in software development and project management, agile methodologies have shifted the focus of estimating from detailed upfront estimates to interactive and flexible approaches that adapt to changing project needs. So basically, what you're getting is more specific and more tailored information, knowledge, and help on your specific need in estimating as time goes on, because it started, like I said, in the Middle Ages with a guild of people who may not even let you into it and give you any of that information, to information being spread out and given to everyone everywhere. And because of that, the more that happens, the more specific and unique the information to you can be. So the history of estimating reflects broad changes in society, technology, and industry, from primitive methods based on experience to sophisticated data-driven techniques. Estimating continues to evolve, adapt to the complexities of modern projects and the fast-paced nature of today's economy. So, yep. Get up to speed with me. I am currently in estimating. I have 10 years of experience so far and continue to grow it every day. You can check the description below. I have my website where I have digital products related to estimating. I also have my number there for consulting, because I do consulting. I'll do a one-on-one with you to get you up to speed to where I am, or close to it, or at least to the point to be able to apply for an estimating position. And you can also sharpen your skills if you have a little bit more experience than me at 10 years. And the very last thing in that description is going to be a link to my classroom on School. Join the community. It's great over there. You can learn a lot. I also have my course on my School community. So you can go over there and check that out and get up to speed without needing to necessarily talk to me. And yeah, catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.